Hi friends, my name is Amber Kleid and thank you for making it to my little neck of the woods here on YouTube at Kaleidoscope Yoga. So today's practice, yoga for back support, is going to be a wonderful addition to any yoga practice. So if you've been practicing yoga, or who knows, maybe this is just your first time, either way, I hope you enjoy it. We're going to do a little bit more strengthening today than stretching. Strengthening is a wonderful, wonderful side addition to doing your yoga practice, because if all you're doing is yoga, quite honestly, there's a chance that you could injure yourself just by stretching too much. Take it from me, I know. I have definitely injured myself in a couple of different spaces or places, and I've been able to heal by adding a little bit more strengthening practice into my own practice. So hopefully this will feel really good for you, and who knows, maybe tomorrow you might even feel it in your body, in your core, maybe perhaps your hamstrings. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So today in our practice, we are going to be on our knees a little bit, so you might like a blanket if your knees feel tender. Definitely a block or a book that we can hold in between our legs. So let's get started in child's pose today. So if you haven't done child's pose, we're just going to come to all fours. First, we're going to bring our toes together and we're going to open up through the knees. Start to stretch your hands out. Really enjoy getting into your child's pose. And then relax those hips back. So a couple of things you can do. You can place a blanket underneath your forehead or a block underneath your forehead if your shoulders are super tight or your neck's tight and you can't quite make it down to the ground. No worries, we gotcha. And same thing with the hips. If your hips aren't reaching towards the ground, you can put blocks between your thighs and shins, or you can roll up a blanket like a little Swiss roll and prop it up right under there as well. And that's just going to lift your hips a little bit, but it's still going to give you that opportunity to relax back into your child's pose. And now another little hint or trick, if you feel a little tense in your ankles, roll up a blanket and pad underneath your ankles. So you're just going to roll it and place it right underneath where the top of the foot and your shin meet. Right there at the ankles. Give it some extra support and a little extra love. So as we come into our child's pose, we're just going to rest for a few breaths, just coming into stillness. Maybe you've already had quite a busy day today, or who knows, maybe you just woke up out of bed. I know that when I do my exercise routine in the morning, I do take 10 minutes at least to do a restorative pose, even though I've just woken up. It just gives me a chance to calm my mind, because usually I wake up with a racing brain, and it's just a really nice, nurturing space to come to. So as you settle in, see if you can direct your breath into the back of the ribs. And as you maybe start to breathe in a little bit deeper, maybe you can find that expansion through the back of the rib cage, and you'll kind of feel the shoulder blades move out to the sides. And then just relax and let it go. You can sigh it out if that's going to feel good to you. It always kind of feels good to sigh it out. And just continue with that breath until you find that you've kind of come to a place where you can feel comfortable with just a soft breath. Not necessarily shallow, but just a little softer. Start to feel the neck and the shoulders relax. You can remove any holding or tension from the fingertips or forearm and just let them lay on your mat. Soften in the hips and the legs. Let your belly fall into that space between the thighs. Enjoy a few more breaths right here. And then when you're ready, begin to stretch the fingers out, spreading some energy towards the front of the mat. You can rotate through the wrists, nice and slow. And then begin to press the palms into the mat, activating through the arms, through the side body, and walk those fingertips out, sending the hips energetically back. And you might begin to feel more space between the ribs and the hips, also in the armpits, down the arms, all the way to the fingers. You might even activate the shoulders. And if the shoulders aren't already warm, you'll probably feel a little bit deeper stretch through the upper shoulders. It might even feel like, oh, goodness, whatever that might mean to you. So let's press those palms into the ground and start to pull ourselves forward. We're going to come into our tabletop position, which is just going to have us in a nice straight back, wrists underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Spread those fingertips out nice and wide, pressing into the arms. So in our tabletop position, we want to make sure we're not dropping our chest down, right? So although this can feel really good, it's a scapula push-up when we go up and down here. For this purpose, we want to have a nice kind of domed space in the upper shoulders. We're going to hug in the low belly a little bit, so our tailbone's going to relax. Toes can either be top of the foot can either be pressed to the ground or you can turn your toes under. Just kind of depends on what feels best in your body. So experiment a little with that. And then from here, we're going to work on a few cat-cows. We're going to start waking up our spine. So taking an inhale, dropping the belly, gazes forward, hips, the sits bones start to rise up. And then as you exhale, we're going to let that tailbone start to round under, dropping the head. Chin is going to come to your chest, and you're going to press up through the arms. Ooh, that feels good. Let's do that again. Inhale, dropping down. Good. Stretching out the front of the body too. And exhale, releasing the hips. I'm going to let you go ahead and make your way through this a few more times. You can close your eyes if that feels good, but just use your own pace of breath. Inhaling, dropping the belly, exhaling, rounding the spine. Maybe even finding a little yes or no nod as you find your cat. Yes, nod in the neck, that is, the head. Let's do one more set. So wherever you are, do one more, and we'll go ahead and meet in the middle, where we find an elongated spine. We come back to that little tailbone being tucked just a little. And then from here, I'm going to invite you to find some organic movement. So just maybe side to side with the hips, dipping the shoulders down, or perhaps you like circles. Anything that's going to help kind of motivate the spine to begin to be supple in all directions. Make sure you go both directions. And just play around, trying not to hold your breath. Let your breath flow with your movement as best as you can. All right, good deal. Remember to pad the knees if you need to. We're going to come back into a paused tabletop position. Pressing the hands into the ground, engaging through that low belly. We're going to draw that right leg so the front of the thigh is parallel to the floor or close there, close to that. And we want to make sure that our hips are flat across. So if you wanted to put like, I don't know, like a drink or something on your back, as an example, I don't know why you do that, but as an example, you would be able to. So let's take an inhale. We're going to lift our heel. So feet are flexed. We're pressing through the heel. Can you feel the hamstring and the glute engage? And then exhale, drawing the knee down, but don't let it drop. Inhale, lift it up. So connect to that glute. When our glute is fired up, it's going to help protect the back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee down. Don't let it hit the ground though. Let's keep it going. If this is too tiring for your wrists, you're welcome to come down to your forearms. But keep it going, lifting that heel up. I don't know about you, but my hamstring is already like, what are you doing? That's good. Firing it up. Firing up that glute. We want it to be wide awake when we are doing our work. Protecting the back. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling on the upswing, exhaling as you come down. Still connected to that core. Last time, you got it. We're going to hold. So lift it up and give me 10 little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it rest. Go ahead and drop that right hip down to the ground. We're going to take our gaze to our left toes. Come on back to center. Let's find a few hip circles. So just lifting up that knee, kind of fire hydrant pose here, but just doing big circles. So maybe 3 one direction, and we're going to do 3 the other direction. Good. All right. So let's do the opposite side. Something else you can do with your wrists, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now as we're sitting here, is you can put the meaty part of your hand on a blanket, fingertips to the ground, and that'll help take pressure off your wrist as well. So let's go ahead and lift that left leg, keeping those hips straight across. And when you're ready, inhale, lift it up, fire up that glute and that hammy, and swing it down on the exhale, not touching the ground. We're not releasing. Here you go, yeah. Making sure that we're not dumping into our shoulders. So we've got lots of strength coming through the arms as well. Elbow pits are facing forward. I need to look and see if there's a technical term for elbow pits. Keep it going. You got it. Press that heel to the sky. Let's do 5 more. There's 2, 3, belly. So obviously I'm going a little slow. I'm not swinging. I'm really honing in on my glute and my hamstring muscle. 2. And on this last one, leave it up. Press that heel to the sky. Let's go for 10 little pumps. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hallelujah, 1. Relax it down. Drop that left hip to the side. Gaze to the right toes. Perfect. Come on back to center. Stabilize yourself in your tabletop position. Neck is an extension of your spine. And let's go ahead and do those hip circles. 3 in one direction. Whoa, hello. 3 in the other one. That's Fife for anyone who's never met him before. He has to announce everything that he does. We always know he's going to the bathroom because when he walks by the living room to go through his little kitty door, he has to meow, let us know. He's very private, which is funny because our girl kitty is not. Okay. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way and we're going to do some bird dogs and work a little bit on our core. So we're going to come back into our tabletop position. We're going to do opposite leg, opposite arm. Reaching back, right leg. Again, we're squaring up those hips and we're reaching forward with the left hand. Pressing into the fingertips of the right hand and letting the weight lean in more into the knuckles and the fingertips than your wrist. So take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, hugging through the center, draw elbow to knee. Exhale, and then breathe it out, stretch it out. Exhale. Inhale on the stretch. And exhale as you come to center. Let's do 5 more. I've lost count already. So let's do 1 more. Reach it out, stretch, 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 stretch. Relax it down. Take that right wrist, give it some love. Circles, shake it out. You can take your fingertips towards your knees, dropping the wrist down and kind of lean back just a little bit to get a deeper stretch through that forearm. Feels real good. Or it can feel super tight. You can do little baby circles, kind of with the body a little bit to get a little bit more into those teenier muscles around the wrist. Shake it out one last time. Let's go ahead and set up again. Last time for bird dog on this side. Connecting to the low belly. Reach that left leg out. We're pressing through our heel, by the way. And then reaching right arm forward. So we've got this nice long line, fingertips to heel. Big breath in, exhale, big breath out. Elbow to knee. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do 5 more. Take a rest anytime you need to. You can do this with 1 arm or 1 leg. Many, many, many variations. Here we go. 4. Last time, reach it out. Bring it in for 5. Sorry, last time, stretch it out. And then exhale, relax it down. Nice job. Give your left wrist some love. Little love. All right, shake it out. We're going to come onto our bellies. Relax all the way down. So we're going to do some Superman superhero, superwoman shapes. And this is so good to build the muscle through the spine. So your stabilizers. So you're going to soften your hips down to the ground. So we're eventually going to lift the legs, but for these first couple, we're just going to lift the arms. But just kind of a note, if you want it to be a little bit more difficult, you can draw the legs together, zip them up. If you want it to be a little easier, you can widen the legs. So it's completely up to you. We want to press gently into our pubic bone. Arms are outstretched. Our neck is an extension of our spine, so we're looking down at our mat, and our neck is soft. It shouldn't feel like you're tensing up the neck or the shoulders to hold it. So when we take an inhale, we're going to breathe and lift the arms up, and we're contracting all the muscles down the back, relaxing into your pubic bone, soft through the belly, and then exhale, release. Just do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms lift, gaze comes forward, and exhale, release. 1 more time, bring it up, and exhale, release. You got it. So let's just do the legs. So go ahead and soften the forehead down to the ground. And this is, again, we're going to fire up through our glutes. So when you're ready, pressing into that pubic bone, we're soft in the belly, soft in the upper body. Take an inhale, lift the legs, and lower. Inhale, lift, and lower. You got this. Lift, and lower. Go ahead and pause. And so we're going to add everything together. I'm going to scoot my blocks out of my way because we're going to do something, or we're going to bring that arms down towards our waist. So when you're ready, take an inhale, pressing into the pubic bones, connecting to those glutes, lift the arms up. We're connecting to our back, but this time draw the elbows back towards your waist. And then exhale, stretch the arms out, relax the legs down. Inhale, lift up, and release. So we're firing up the glutes, the hamstrings, all the muscles in the back. Bring it up. And exhale, we're going to do 2 more. Up we go. And release. Last time, bring it up, and I'm going to ask that you hold. So soften that belly. Find your breath. We're not holding the breath. We are pulling our shoulder blades to spine. We're sucking in the butt muscles, lifting the legs, and our neck is an extension of the spine. So your gaze should be down towards your mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it down. Bring those hands underneath the forehead and rock those hips from side to side. Nice job. If there's any exercise that you want to do every day, that is going to be it. You could alternate between that and planks, and you'll be getting into the core, the back. It's just an all-over, really wonderful pairing. In some circles, it's called the superset, but not in the yoga circles. All right, bring those palms down to the ground. Press yourself up. Let's take another child's pose. Go ahead and relax your hips all the way back. And we're going to pause here just for a few breaths, enjoying that length in the spine. Relaxing the forehead down. Breathing deeply into the rib cage, soft in the belly. And just for fun, we're going to go ahead and walk our hands to the right. Stretching out through the left hand, letting your left hip shift back. And then over to the left, over to the left. Oh boy, reach through the right fingertips, let that right hip drop down. Stretch, 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 feels so good. Hopefully it feels good for you too. Awesome. Come on back to center. We're going to come back to our tabletop. And we're just going to make our way into downward facing dog. And I always like to say, I know you've probably heard me say it 100 times, but make it a journey. Enjoy the path that you take to your downward facing dog. Move a lot. See if you can kind of move through the hips, move through the legs, bend the knees. Relax the chest towards your knees, pressing through the palms, making sure that we're rotating our biceps kind of down. So your triceps, the back of your biceps, are going to kind of rotate in almost as if they're going to pinch your nose. And then we hug our low belly into spine so we can come into this triangle pose just a little bit more, lifting through the hips. And then walk your dog. And all that means is you're like taking steps in place, getting into the calf muscles. And just a note, the closer your hands and feet are, the less pressure on your shoulders. So if you take a super wide downward facing dog, your shoulders are going to bear just a little bit more of the load than they will if you come in just a little bit closer. So just keep that in mind. Perfect. So we're going to walk our feet all the way forward. We're going to come into a forward fold. And here is where you're going to grab a block. So just grab it and keep it close for a few moments. And since I already have a little bit of low back stress, I am going to use my block. And instead of coming into a full-blown forward fold, I'm going to come into a flat back instead. I'm still going to let my neck relax. I'm still going to let my shoulders relax, but I'm just not pulling on those low back muscles. Now, if you don't have low back pain, it's perfectly fine to rest your head towards your feet. But I'm just taking precautions. Rest here for just a few more moments. And then we're going to bring our feet, while we're resting, about hip distance apart. So your hand, if you take it into a fist, should be able to fit in between the arches of your feet. We'll use that as a little place of reference. And then when you're ready, drop that booty down, and we're going to come into chair. And here's where your block comes into play. You're going to put it in between your thighs, and you're going to squeeze. And you're going to come into your chair pose. Relax that tailbone. Arms are stretched out in front for balance, if that's what you need. Or you can draw the biceps up by the ears. Relax the shoulders down. We're hugging into that core. We're hugging into the block. We're pressing into the big toe and making sure that our weight is in our heel. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a big breath in and we're going to stand up straight, hugging that block. And we're going to exhale and we're going to sit back down. Keep hugging that block. Let's do it a few more times. You know, if you don't have a block and if you don't have a book, you can use a pillow. Keep it going. Inhale, stand up. Exhale. Drop that booty down. You got it. Keep it going. If you need to pause and rest, please do. We're going to go 3 more. 2. Last time, bring it all the way up. Hands are going to come all the way up. Keep squeezing that block. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale, fingertips are still up. Relax the shoulders. Still squeezing into that block. Relax that tailbone. And on your next exhale, relax your hands. Good job. Go ahead and remove the block. Just set it down here for just a moment. Make any adjustments that need to be made. And then when you're ready, big breath in, fingertips to the sky. Palms together. Exhale all the way down. Find your forward fold. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, float it down, forward fold. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, flat back. Exhale. Bend those knees. Come on back down to the ground. And we're going to flip onto our backs. Bring that block with you. Get yourself set up so you're going to be centered on your mat. And we're going to take that block again and put it in between our thighs. Blocker book, whatever you have. So we're going to come into our bridge shape. So soles of the feet to the ground, pretty close to your booty. Palms are going to be facing down. We want to be nice and broad across our shoulders so you can stretch out that space a little bit. And we want to just draw the chin down to the chest just a little, just to lengthen through that spine a little more. We're going to rotate the pelvis so the low back kind of kisses the ground. And then relax. Yeah, good. So let's squeeze that block. And as we do, we're going to draw our booty up with connection to the glutes. Lift, lift, lift. And exhale, lower, lower, lower. Pressing into the soles of the feet, squeezing the thighs together. Lift, lift, lift. Hip points come to the sky. Maybe some of you will be able to roll all the way up onto your shoulders. If that's too much for your low back, just don't come up that high. Just come up to where it feels comfortable. And then relax it down in the exhale. Keep it going. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale, release it down. Almost like you're giving yourself a little massage on the back, along the spine. Give yourself 3 more. If you're tired, rest. Connecting to those glutes, the hamstrings, pressing the soles of the feet down. 2 more. Last time. Relax. Take that block. Get it out of the way. Draw those knees in. Yes. Take a happy baby here. So grabbing the tops of the feet, letting the knees drop to the outer part of the armpits, and just find a gentle rock from side to side. You can play around a little bit, stretching through the legs. It should feel good. And And then we're going to come back into that position with our feet on the ground. And we're going to take our right foot over our left knee, and we're going to come into figure four, which is a variation of pigeon. So if you've ever seen pigeon, or if you've ever tried pigeon and it feels uncomfortable, which is quite common, this is a great alternative, especially if you have knee issues. Because in king pigeon, you're going to be resting on top of one leg. So this is a great alternative. So let's spread our toes. We want to drop that pinky toe down towards the ground. And we're doing that to protect our knee. And then we're going to lift the left foot and we're going to draw the leg in towards our chest. Hands are going to reach behind the thigh. And then you can play around, see if you like the leg straight up in the air, or you can bend the knee at a 90-degree angle and kind of pull in that thigh towards you. And hopefully you'll get a nice little stretch along the outer edge of the right thigh, all the way into the booty. And bear in mind, everybody's different, so it might feel a little different in your body. And if drawing the thigh towards you is too much, you're welcome just to lift the leg. You don't have to wrap the hands around it. The beautiful thing about yoga is we get to meet ourselves where we are. We get to listen to our bodies. You know, we don't have somebody screaming at us to do, 30 more squats, even though we're about ready to cry. It's not like that. If you don't want to do something that I'm asking or, requesting you to do, don't do it. My feelings aren't going to be hurt. I want you to listen to what's happening in your body. One more breath here. Release the hands if you're holding the thigh. Drop the foot down. Let's go ahead and take the right leg and relax it out. And then just kind of from the upper thigh, rotate side to side. Rotate that leg so your toes are going to drop from side to side, kind of as a reference. But you're going to, if you put your hand right on your hip crease, you can feel it initiating from that space. Good. Draw that foot back up into bent knee. Same thing on the left. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right foot, spread those toes, and go ahead and draw that knee up and in. Reach around the thighs if that is suitable for you, if it feels good. And so we want to make sure that our shoulders are relaxed in this shape too, and then our neck is relaxed. And keeping the chin towards the chest. You don't have to do it so much that you can't breathe or talk, but just dip it down just a little bit. We just want to keep the back of the neck elongated, that's all. Let your tailbone relax and find your breath. If you want, you can close your eyes here for a few moments. Maybe noticing how one side might feel a little different than the other. This side's definitely a little tighter than the other side on me. Take a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, relax the hands, bring the foot down, and then uncross the leg, reach the left leg out. And again, initiating a little side-to-side movement from the upper part of the leg. letting those toes roll from side to side. Then I'd like to do one more exercise before we wrap up for the day. So I'm just going to ask that you roll to one side and just gently push yourself up so that you're facing your camera. So we're going to come into a little side plank here. Now there's two ways that you can do this. You can kind of do this pressing the palm into the ground, keeping the knees bent, and you're going to use your feet for leverage. And you're just going to lift up the hip and then drop it down. Lift up the hip and drop it down. If you want, you can come into full side plank and drop the hip down and lift it up. So let's try that together. So we're going to take an inhale, dropping down, and exhale, lift. We're only going to do 5 of these. 2, 3, and maybe you can feel it along the side abdominal wall. 4, last one, lift. 5, and go ahead and bring it down. I'm just going to switch to the opposite side here. And then here we go on this side. Another way you can do this is bring your back foot forward and you can lift up through the center here too. So a couple of different options. So when you're ready, let's begin with an inhale, lift it up and release. Lift, inhale, and release. Two more, you got it. Last one, bring it up and release it down. Good job. Swing those feet forward. Let's come into a seat. You can sit on your blanket or your block if you'd like. And we're just gonna come relaxing the shoulders, hands upturned on the thighs, and drop right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear, left shoulder, back the other way. All the way right ear, right shoulder. And just keep that going for a few more moments. And then let's go ahead and do full circles. So nose to the sky. And back down. We're going to do 3 of these. And you're going to switch and go the opposite direction, please. One more big circle. And let your head come above head over heart. Close your eyes for just a moment. If you'd like, you can bring your hands together at heart space and Anjali Mudra, fingertips facing the chin. And you can gently drop the chin down, elongating through the back of the neck. In honor of our practice together today, thank you so much for being here and for being curious. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you enjoyed this practice, please Let me know what you loved about it. And if you have any questions, I'm here for those too. Namaste.